Ryan Little.
Japan.
Hello and welcome to Monson Made This. My name is Michael and I cook vegan food. If you're interested in that, definitely click the subscribe button below and the bell notification and give this video a thumbs up while you are down there. Today I am making two variations of one of my favorite sandwiches of all time, the cheesesteak. I'm making just a classic cheesesteak with onions, peppers, and cheese, and then I'm making a bulgogi inspired Korean style cheesesteak. I've got a lot of ingredients prepped here for you, so I'm gonna go through and tell you what I have, and then we'll head back to the stove and get these things cooking. For the traditional cheesesteak, I have some onions, red bell pepper, you could use green if you have that, and I have just some vegan mozzarella shreds that are just gonna help the cheesesteak to become cheesy. For the Korean-inspired one, we have a lot more going on. We have some green onion, that's gonna be our onion component. I have an Anaheim chili, which is gonna give us some heat. I have a Gochujang Mayo, which I'm gonna make here in just a moment. The bulgogi style sauce is gonna give it like a sweet, spicy, savory taste. And then to cap it all off is this jar here of some amazing Kimchi Cheese Sauce. And that recipe comes to us from Vegan Yak Attack, Jackie Soban's plant-based meal prep cookbook. If you want the full recipe, you do need to purchase this cookbook, which I will have linked below, but she's been kind enough to allow me to provide a link to another variation of this recipe, which is on her website. So if you go to my website, monsonmadethis.com, down below, I'll have a link for the recipe for that cheese sauce, because what's gonna go better with a bulgogi Korean-inspired cheesesteak than a kimchi cheese sauce? So I'm gonna start mixing up my other sauces here, and then we're ready to cook. The sauce that is going to make our Beyond meat taste like a bulgogi-inspired cheesesteak starts out with some Bragg's liquid aminos. You could also use your favorite low-sodium soy sauce. I'm adding some brown sugar to that. Lots of garlic, because I love garlic. Get it all in there. I have some grated ginger, which I just keep in the freezer so I can grate a little bit of it out when I need to use it and it doesn't go bad. I have some sesame seeds and red pepper flake, and finally a little bit of sesame oil. And I'm just gonna mix this together, get everything incorporated, and this is just gonna hang out to the side. Once the cheesesteak is pretty much fully cooked, we'll just pour this over the top. It'll evaporate a little bit, it'll caramelize a little bit, and it'll make the Beyond burgers taste like a bulgogi cheesesteak. So that's it for that. The Gochujang Mayo is as simple as it sounds. We have a Korean fermented chili paste, gochujang, and we have vegan mayo, and we're just gonna mix this together. Of course, the full recipe and ratios for all this stuff will be on the website, monsonmadethis.com. Simple as that. So these two sauces that took no time at all to throw together are really gonna change it from sort of a traditional basic cheesesteak to something extra special in this Korean bulgogi style. And that's kind of how it is with a sauce. You just take something that's kind of mundane, not that the cheesesteak is mundane at all, but you take something that's kind of simple and basic and just whip up a couple sauces, and you've completely changed the flavor profile and the trajectory of the dish. So simple, few ingredients, but definitely it's going to, as Emma would say, kick things up a notch. I hate emerald, I don't know why I said that. All right, let's go back to the stove and get cooking. The star ingredient for these cheesesteaks is this Beyond Burger. You can buy it in the pound or you can buy it in the 2 patties like this. And this stuff is like super inexpensive these days. I think it was on sale for less than $5 for this package of 2. And you're gonna need 1 for each cheesesteak or 1 patty for each cheesesteak. And as I mentioned earlier, it's not gonna read hamburger. It's not gonna read like, oh, he broke up burgers and calling it a cheesesteak. It really somehow transforms. The trick is to break this up into little bits. And we don't want to break these up any further. And these will have kind of a steak-like texture. For this one, which is the traditional cheesesteak style, we're just going to season it really simply. Salt, pepper, probably a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm also going to add my onions and pepper at this point, because they're going to cook in about the same amount of time as the Beyond. I added a tiny little bit of oil to the pan as well. I'm using a cast iron, kind of on a medium-high heat. And what we want to do with this, Well, I'm gonna season it first. But what we wanna do with this is get some nice caramelization, some nice color on these little bits. Once it's cooked, we will add the garlic powder. Once it's cooked, we'll add a little bit of the cheese. It'll get melty. We'll put the bun or our hoagie roll on top. We'll let it steam a little bit to melt the cheese, to soften the roll, and then we will have a delicious cheesesteak. And we probably will add a little bit of the kimchi cheese sauce onto this as well, because why not? Cheese on the inside, cheese on the outside. It's gonna be great. So, all right, we just want this to cook up, get caramelized. Shouldn't take more than maybe 5 minutes. Just watch it, don't move it around too much because you do want that color. And that's it. I've actually got the heat up pretty high on this because I do want that caramelization, but we're almost done. This is a good time to mayo the rolls, and I love mayo on a cheesesteak. These are also just some rolls I found at a deli. I sliced them in half down through the top. That way they will stand up a little bit nicer. So I'm just gonna slather these with some vegan mayo. I also am trying to work on my own hoagie recipe so that I can make my own. It's not there yet, so stay tuned. I will post that to my website, monsonmadethis.com, as soon as those are ready to go. So, got this mayoed up. I'm gonna head back here and show you how I like to heat this together and get the whole thing finished up. So, this, you can see beautiful caramelization. This is absolutely ready to go. So I'm gonna take my vegan cheese. Again, this is just a vegan mozzarella. And I'm gonna sprinkle it over here. And then gather it up into a pile that is roughly the size and shape of our bun. And then what's gonna help us melt the cheese, and again, it's gonna help us steam and warm up the bun a little bit, is we're gonna take this and just put it right over the top. Let that go for just a minute or two, maybe about a minute, and then we will flip it over, invert it, and we will have a delicious cheesesteak in no time at all. So this is the hardest part of the whole recipe, is the flip. Getting my spatula under there, flipping it over, done. Look at that beautiful melted cheese. Things are crispy, caramelized. And I'm gonna sort this out and make it a little bit prettier, but I'm gonna set this aside for now while we make the Korean bulgogi version. But God, it smells incredible. All right, you're gonna have to wait. So just like before, we've got a pan really hot, cast iron still, hasn't changed. And I'm adding some green onion. I'm gonna reserve some of the greener parts to put on top later. And I have these peppers. You could use, I don't know, green bell peppers if you want. I like the spice of these. It's pretty much just like a jalapeno. Just like we did last time. Little chunks of our Beyond Burger Patty. And it doesn't necessarily need any oil or fat because the Beyond Burgers have quite a bit of fat in them. But I am gonna drizzle just a little bit of sesame oil for the flavor. And I know that there is the sesame oil in the sauce that we'll be adding once this is browned. But I think a little sesame oil at this point is nice as well. All right, I'm not gonna salt and pepper this because we've already got all of our seasoning in that sauce. So this is just gonna get browned up. I'll toss it just like before, and I'll show you when we're ready to add the sauce to it. So the meat and the veggies for the Korean bulgogi inspired cheesesteak are nice and caramelized, so I'm going to add this sauce that we made, adding it all. I've also moved the heat down to just medium, turned it down a little bit. Our goal here is to reduce this, get it a little bit caramelized, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did last time. Sprinkle a little bit of cheese on top, put it into a pile, put it into a mound, and then we're going to let the bun steam a little bit, which I've already actually put the Gochujang Mayo on there. Let's add the cheese now. This happens pretty quickly. Oh my God, it smells so good. So excited for these. Look at that color, look at that sizzle. All right, the bun's going on. And let's see if we have the same luck that we did last time. Try to show you better without my hand getting in front of the camera. And flip. Oh my gosh, look at that beauty. So I'm just gonna zhuzh this up a little bit, make it look beautiful, and then I will meet you back at the island. We will put cheese sauce on both of these, and I get to dig in. I'm so excited, it smells so good. Look at that, come on. This is vegan, people. That felt like the longest glamour shot session in history. I'm so excited to dig into this. I have my Korean bulgogi inspired cheesesteak with Gochujang Mayo and Kimchi Cheese Sauce. And over here we have just a more traditional with vegan mozzarella cheese, red peppers, and onions. So without further ado, I'm digging in. You guys, this might be my new favorite food. It's got such good spice. It's sweet, it's savory, it's creamy, it's chewy. It's everything, and it comes together so quick. Literally 5 minutes away from this sandwich being in your mouth after you go to the grocery store and get everything. So I'm so excited to finish eating this. I'm sure my face is a mess right now. I'm excited to finish eating this. If you want to watch and have a little chat with me, I will be on my Patreon, which is linked below, patreon.com/monsonmadethis, and that's where all the Monson Ate This videos are. So definitely please go ahead and follow me over there and help support this channel. Thanks to all of you that are already supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. That's all I have to say for today, so I can devour these sandwiches. I will be back next week with another recipe video. Actually, I'll be probably back in another couple days because we're trying to get 2 videos out per week, trying to do a one-take Wednesday, as well as our sort of larger or more involved format videos like this. So thank you again for all of you that have been supporting this channel. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing and hitting that bell notification. Thanks for giving this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.